What about, like you mentioned, looking back and you cringe? I mean, I get it. I mean, what's one or two things that stick out at the top of your mind where you look back at prior seasons and you're like, oh, like, or you would have handled something differently or something
Well,
like
I
that?
think the main thing is that when, I will give you a great example. Whenever the first time, I guess it was season 2, when I got really upset with LeeAnne for disclosing my personal financial situation because I was trying to make my business, go, instead of having such a wild reaction to her, I probably just sat her down and said, LeeAnne, I'm really disappointed that you would do that to me. I thought we had a closer friendship. And I just don't understand why you would have told Kary, since you guys do not have a friendship, please explain that to me, instead of just going, why'd you do that? And I think that would have set my next 2 years after that on a different trajectory. So now people are having to they're looking back at that, and now they're getting to know the other side of me, knowing that I should have done things a little bit differently, and hopefully I will. But like I said, certain people trigger me and set me off. And, Kary and I have some issues this year. You've already seen that happen. And I just don't like when people poke and prod at me. Eventually I explode.
Yeah, that's understandable. Is Kary kind of the main person that you have issues with this year?
I have issues with most of the women this year, believe it or not, unfortunately. But they're not major issues, but I think with Kary, it's like a dripping faucet. So it goes on and on and on. And at some point, I'm the type of person that has a strong personality and a strong temper. And that's one thing I regret. I wish people didn't think I was angry all the time and call me de-anger and all that kind of stuff, because that's not, me, that's not who I am. But when you push my buttons enough, or, if you continue to poke at me or continue to just chastise me and castigate me, I'm going to come back eventually. I'm not going to let you just, roll over me. I'm not a doormat. I mean,
No, you're not. Is that the biggest, you think, is that what you hear? Like, is that the biggest misconception of you? Is that you're always
my mother says,
angry?
everybody thinks you're so severe. I'm like, well, I wonder where I got that from.
Seriously. What about, I mean, do you go down that rabbit hole? I mean, we're several years in now, do you go down that, like, one week everyone loves you, the next week everyone's comments are like, it doesn't matter who you are. You can walk on water, people are going to come for you. Like, do you go down the social media rabbit hole, or?
Yeah, it's like, this 1 week you're great. The next week it's like this little roller coaster. The next week everybody
Totally.
hates you. The next week everybody loves you. The next week everybody hates you. And you just have to understand that the next week it's going to be probably someone else. So you may be in the hot seat right now, but you're not going to be in the hot seat forever. There will be some people that will focus on that for the entirety of your being on a show like this. But those people are highly unusual, and you just, mute, or what is one, like, restrict or mute?
Mute, yeah.
Mute and restrict, so you don't have to watch. Or sometimes if it gets bad enough, you just block, because it's not worth having somebody harass you all the time or bully you.